You are not weak. You are not finished. You are not behind in some permanent way that decides your future forever. You are standing in one of the hardest moments of your life, and because it feels heavy, it starts to feel final. It is not final. It is only a chapter. It is only a season. And seasons change, even when they move slowly. That is the first truth you need to hold today. Life does not ask you to feel ready before it tests you. It does not pause because you are tired, confused, embarrassed, or scared. It keeps moving. So the only real question is not whether pressure will come. The question is what kind of person you will become under that pressure. There are 3 levels of motivation. Most people never hear this clearly, so they keep chasing energy instead of building power. They wait for the perfect mood, the perfect day, the perfect sign, the perfect confidence, and then they wonder why their life still feels stuck. Motivation is not one thing. It is not a spark you find once and keep forever. It has levels, and every level changes the way you live. The first level helps you begin. The second level helps you continue. The third level helps you become someone who cannot be moved by disappointment. When you understand these 3 levels, failure starts to lose its control over you. Delay starts to lose its voice. Self-doubt starts to lose its weight. The first level is emotional motivation. This is the level most people know best. It is the fire you feel after a painful breakup, a harsh word, a missed opportunity, a humiliating mistake, or a moment when you look in the mirror and finally tell yourself that enough is enough. It is strong, it is real, and it can change your direction. This level gives you a push when life has knocked you down. It makes you wake up early. It makes you clean your room, send the email, apply for the job, go to the gym, open the notebook, study for the exam, or start the business idea you've been carrying in your head for months. Emotional motivation matters because people need a starting point. You cannot build a new life from numbness alone. At some point, something has to move your heart. You have to feel the cost of staying the same. You have to feel the pain of wasting your own potential. You have to feel the hunger for something better. That feeling is not weakness. It is a signal. It tells you that your current life does not match your deeper identity. But emotional motivation has a problem. It comes and goes. It rises fast and fades fast. One powerful speech can wake you up for a day. One bad morning can put you back to sleep. One supportive comment can make you brave. One rejection can make you retreat. That is why the first level is only the beginning. If you stop at the first level, your life becomes a cycle of bursts and breakdowns. You get inspired, then distracted. You get hungry, then discouraged. You get focused, then exhausted. You promise yourself a new future, then disappear into old habits. Many people live here for years. They keep waiting to feel motivated before they act. But action is what creates deeper motivation. You do not need to worship the feeling. You need to use the feeling. Let it launch you, but do not let it lead your whole life. Because if your future depends only on feelings, your future will keep changing with your mood. The second level is disciplined motivation. This is where your life starts to change in a real, visible way. At this level, you no longer ask, "Do I feel like it?" You ask, "Is this who I am becoming?" You stop chasing short bursts of energy and begin building steady habits. You learn that progress is not always loud. Sometimes progress is a quiet decision made again and again when nobody is watching. You study when it is boring. You work when the results are slow. You save when you want to spend. You rest without quitting. You keep going without applause. This level is powerful because it turns motivation into structure. Discipline is not cold. Discipline is care. It is a way of protecting your future self from the chaos of your current emotions. It says, "I know I'm tired, but I also know what matters." It says, "I know I'm frustrated, but I will not abandon my standards." It says, "I know I failed today, but I will not make failure my identity." This is where success starts to become predictable. Not easy, predictable, because discipline creates repetition, and repetition creates mastery. Your talent matters, but your habits matter more. Your dreams matter, but your calendar matters more. Your motivation matters, but your routine matters more. The person who wins is often not the person who feels the best. It is the person who repeats the right actions long enough for results to appear. This second level is where many people discover a painful truth. They do not actually lack motivation. They lack systems. They have feelings, but no plan. They have ambition, but no routine. They have pressure, but no structure. And when life gets hard, they collapse because they were trying to carry their future with temporary energy. Discipline solves this. It gives your life a spine. It gives your goals a schedule. It gives your mind a place to stand when emotions are unstable. If the first level is the spark, the second level is the engine. It keeps moving even when the spark is gone. Still, there is a third level, and this is the level that changes everything. The third level is identity motivation. At this level, you are no longer trying to become motivated. You are becoming someone who acts from identity, not impulse. You stop saying, I need to force myself to do this. You begin saying, this is simply what I do now. You are not chasing a version of yourself that only exists in your imagination. You are building a self-image strong enough to carry your actions. This is the deepest form of motivation because it no longer depends on mood or pressure. It comes from who you believe you are. Identity is powerful because people naturally move toward the story they tell about themselves. If you see yourself as broken, you will protect that story, even if it hurts you. If you see yourself as unlucky, you will explain away every setback as proof. If you see yourself as weak, you will avoid the work that could strengthen you. But if you see yourself as capable, resilient, responsible, and ready to grow, your behavior starts to follow that belief. The third level says, I am the kind of person who keeps promises to myself. It says, I am the kind of person who learns from pain instead of becoming bitter. It says, I am the kind of person who gets knocked down and rises with more wisdom than before. This is where your life becomes less about motivation and more about ownership. You stop waiting for someone to rescue you. You stop waiting for the perfect opportunity. You stop waiting for the fear to disappear. You own your mornings. You own your choices. You own your standards. You own your recovery. You own your next move. That is real strength. Not loud strength. Not fake confidence. Real strength. The kind that shows up when no one is clapping. The kind that survives rejection. The kind that keeps its head up after a setback. The kind that makes delayed dreams stay alive. Maybe you are listening right now and thinking, I have failed too many times. Maybe you are thinking, I started and stopped so many times that I cannot trust myself anymore. Maybe you are thinking, other people seem to move faster, smarter, and with more certainty than me. Hear this carefully. Your past failures do not cancel your future growth. They only show you where your system broke down. They are not your sentence. They are your data. Every mistake has information inside it. Every delay has a lesson hidden in it. Every disappointment is a message, not a burial. You do not need to glorify pain, but you do need to extract wisdom from it. Pain can make you bitter or can make you sharper. The difference is what you decide to do next. A lot of people mistake motion for progress. They stay busy so they can avoid facing themselves. They scroll, talk, plan, complain, compare, and distract, but they do not build. They are active but not aligned. They are exhausted but not advancing. Real motivation cuts through that noise. It says, be honest. Be honest about where you are. Be honest about what you avoid. Be honest about the habits that keep pulling you backward. Be honest about the excuses you repeat. Because healing and success both begin with truth. You cannot transform a life you keep pretending is fine. You cannot heal what you refuse to name. You cannot rise from a fog you keep defending. So start where you are, not where your pride wants you to be, not where your fear says you should already be. Start where you are. If your life is messy, start with one clean decision. If your mind is overwhelmed, start with one focused hour. If your body is tired, start with one honest walk, one glass of water, one early night, one better meal. If your career feels stuck, start with one application, one skill, one conversation, one portfolio piece, one act of courage. Big change is built through small acts repeated with seriousness. The world celebrates overnight success, but the truth is that most breakthroughs are the visible result of invisible discipline. And you need to understand something else. Slow progress is still progress. In a world obsessed with speed, it is easy to feel ashamed when your growth is quiet. You may feel like everyone else is moving ahead while you are still learning, still rebuilding, still trying to get your mind right. But growth is not a race against strangers. It is a responsibility to yourself. Some people bloom early. Some people bloom later. Some people are strengthened by ease, and some are strengthened by pressure. Do not compare your timeline to someone else's highlight reel. Compare your habits to your own potential. Compare your present to your last honest attempt. That is how you measure real growth. The strongest people are not the ones who never struggle. They are the ones who continue while struggling. They know that confidence is not a gift that falls from the sky. It is built through evidence. Every time you do what you said you would do, you create evidence. Every time you keep going when it is hard, you create evidence. Every time you recover from a bad day without quitting your life, you create evidence. Soon, your mind starts to trust you. And once your mind trusts you, your life changes. This is why self-respect is so powerful. It is not built through compliments. It is built through consistency. You respect yourself when your actions match your values. There will be days when your energy is low. There will be days when the work feels meaningless. There will be days when fear visits again and tries to convince you that you're not ready. On those days, do not ask for a magical feeling. Return to your reason. Return to your vision. Return to the person you promised to become. Motivation often comes after movement, not before it. So take the next step, then another, then another. The body of your future is built one honest action at a time. You do not need a perfect life to make progress. You need a committed mind. You need a willing heart. You need enough courage to begin again today. The world respects results, but results come from repetition. People see the finished product and assume the journey was smooth. It was not. Behind every strong person is a long history of private battles, silent efforts, and moments of almost giving up. They kept going because they understood that pain is temporary, but the identity you build in pain can last for years. If you use hardship correctly, it matures you. It makes you patient, aware, humble, and dangerous in the best way. Not reckless dangerous, disciplined dangerous. The kind of dangerous that obstacles cannot stop. The kind of dangerous that excuses cannot own. The kind of dangerous that future setbacks will fear. Do not underestimate the power of a person who has learned how to stay in the game. Many people are talented, but unreliable. Many people are inspired, but inconsistent. Many people talk about change, but run from discomfort. The person who rises is the one who stays. Stays with the process. Stays with the challenge. Stays with the lesson. Stays with the work after the excitement fades. Stays with the identity they are building even when progress is slow. This is how average lives become meaningful. Not through fantasy, through endurance, through repeated commitment, through the quiet decision to keep becoming. If you feel stuck right now, do not insult yourself for it. Do not call yourself lazy just because you are tired. Do not call yourself hopeless just because the answer is not visible yet. Stuck does not mean finished. It means a change is overdue. It means something in your thinking, your habits, or your direction needs to be adjusted. Sometimes the problem is not your effort. Sometimes the problem is your focus. Sometimes the problem is that you have been trying to build a future with borrowed beliefs. Borrowed beliefs cannot carry your purpose. Other people's expectations cannot carry your purpose. You need to decide what you believe about your own life. Believe this. You can begin again. Not from zero. From experience. From wisdom. From scars. From lessons earned the hard way. You are not starting from nothing. You are starting from knowledge. You know what drains you. You know what distracts you. You know what habits break you down. You know what kind of environment weakens you. That knowledge is valuable. Use it. Build around it. Stop pretending that repeated failure means you are incapable. Repeated failure often means your method needs work, your environment needs change, or your standards need to rise. That is not shame. That is strategy. And strategy is how people rebuild lives that once felt impossible. The 3 levels of motivation are not separate cages. They are steps. First, you feel the fire. Then, you build a habit. Then, you become the person. Do not despise the first level because it is temporary. Do not stop at the second level because it is comfortable. Do not ignore the third level because it asks for deeper honesty. Walk through all 3. Let emotion wake you up. Let discipline carry you. Let identity anchor you. When these 3 work together, you become hard to defeat. Not because life stops hitting you, but because you stop collapsing every time it does. So today, choose one honest step. One step that proves you're serious. One step that does not wait for permission. One step that your future self will thank you for. Answer the email. Write the page. Make the call. Go for the walk. Study the chapter. Save the money. Fix the mistake. Apologize. Apply again. Wake up earlier. Try one more time. Not because it is easy, because you are worth the effort. Your life can still become powerful. Your future can still become clear. Your confidence can still grow. Your name can still stand for something strong. But it will not happen by accident. It will happen when you decide that your pain will no longer define your ceiling. There is something inside you that still wants more. Not more noise. Not more distraction. More meaning. More strength. More direction. More peace that comes from progress. That desire is not foolish. It is proof that you are not meant to remain stuck in small thinking forever. So honor it. Feed it with action. Protect it from doubt. Give it structure. Give it time. Give it your best effort. You may not control how fast your life changes, but you do control whether you keep showing up. And showing up changes everything. Level 1 gets you moving. Level 2 gets you results. Level 3 gives you a life that can sustain them. Stay close to the fire, but do not live there. Build the habits. Build the character. Build the identity. And when the old voice returns, the one that says you are too late, too broken, too tired, too behind, answer it with your actions. Answer it with consistency. Answer it with courage. Answer it with proof. Because proof is louder than fear. Repetition is louder than doubt. And a disciplined life is louder than every excuse that try to keep you small. You are not waiting for a new life. You are building one. And every day you choose discipline over delay, truth over excuses, and identity over impulse. You move closer to the person you were meant to become. Keep going. Keep building. Keep becoming. The next level is not out there somewhere. It starts with what you decide to do now. When life has slowed you down, do not confuse patience with passivity. Patience is not sitting still while your dreams die quietly. Patience is staying steady while your roots grow deeper. A tree does not argue with the season. It grows in its own time. Your results may not appear at the pace you want, but growth below the surface matters. The habits you repeat in private are building the person everyone will eventually meet in public. That person is being shaped right now. In ordinary moments, in lonely moments, in frustrating moments, in the moments when nobody is telling you to continue except your own conscience. This is why small wins matter so much. They are not small to the person who has been losing confidence for months. Getting up on time, keeping your word, finishing one task, resisting one distraction, sending one message, or taking one more step may look ordinary from the outside. Inside your life, those moments are evidence that you're not surrendering. Each small win is a brick. One brick may not look like a house, but with enough bricks, a house appears. The same is true for a stronger mind, a sharper focus, and a life built on respect rather than regret. Do not wait for a giant victory to begin feeling proud. Learn to respect the quiet victories that make giant victories possible. The biggest enemy of your next level is not always failure. Often it is comfort. Comfort can make a wounded life feel safe while keeping it small. Comfort says, stay here. Do not risk rejection. Do not risk embarrassment. Do not try again. Comfort sounds gentle, but it steals futures. It hides in procrastination, distraction, excuses, and endless planning without action. To break out of it, you need courage. Not the kind of courage that never feels fear, but the kind that moves while fear is still present. Courage is not the absence of discomfort. It is the decision that your purpose matters more than your comfort. There will be mornings when you wake up and nothing feels special. No rush of inspiration. No fresh excitement. No dramatic reason to believe today will be different. On those mornings, trust the process more than the feeling. Open your eyes and remember that your life is built from ordinary days, not only major moments. Great lives are rarely built in a single breakthrough. They are built in repeated obedience to the work. One day becomes a week becomes a month becomes a year. Then one day you look back and realize that the person who used to quit so easily has become someone who can endure. That is how power grows. It does not always announce itself. It settles in quietly through choices. The choice to keep learning after embarrassment. The choice to keep practicing after criticism. The choice to keep going after a setback. The choice to stay humble when things improve. The choice to stay hungry when things get comfortable. This is the kind of power that lasts because it is rooted in character. Talent may open the door, but character keeps you in the room. A strong start is good. A strong finish is better. A strong mindset is what makes both possible. Maybe you have spent too long believing that your life will begin once someone notices you, approves of you, or gives you permission. But your life does not begin when others understand your value. It begins when you accept it. Your responsibility is not to wait for validation. Your responsibility is to build. Build your skills. Build your discipline. Build your confidence. Build your standards. Build your peace. Build your future. Even if nobody is watching. Even if applause is late. Even if the road is narrow. Real progress is often invisible at first. That does not make it less real. It makes it more sacred, more personal, more yours. And when doubt returns, because it will, do not panic. Doubt is a visitor, not a ruler. It will try to speak with authority, but it does not deserve the throne of your mind. You do not need to believe every thought you think. Some thoughts are fear dressed as logic. Some thoughts are old wounds trying to predict the future. Some thoughts are just fatigue. Learn to separate feeling from fact. Feeling says you're not ready. Fact says you're still here. Feeling says it is too late. Fact says time still exists. Feeling says you always fail. Fact says you have also survived, learned, and moved forward before. Let facts lead when emotions become loud. The people you admire did not reach their strength by accident. They were built by repetition, disappointment, recovery, and choice. They were built by days when they wanted to stop, but kept going. They were built by moments when nobody believed in them enough, so they had to believe in themselves. The same process is available to you. You may not control your starting point, but you control how you respond to it. You may not control every setback, but you control your next move. You may not control how long the valley lasts, but you control whether you keep walking through it or sit down and surrender. Keep in mind that resilience is not pretending everything is fine. Resilience is refusing to let hard moments erase your direction. It is possible to be honest about pain without becoming ruled by it. It is possible to admit fear without being led by fear. It is possible to feel disappointed and still remain committed. This balance is important because some people think strength means never feeling broken. That is not strength. Strength is staying useful while hurt. Strength is getting back in the ring. Strength is learning to breathe, think, and choose clearly even when life is loud. That kind of strength is available to anyone willing to practice it. If you are rebuilding after failure, give yourself credit for rebuilding. It is easy to admire the finished person and ignore the rebuilding. But rebuilding takes courage. Rebuilding means you did not let one collapse become your permanent address. Rebuilding means you are willing to clean the mess, face the truth, and lay better foundations. Do not rush the foundation. A weak foundation creates a shaky future. Take your time with your habits, your mindset, your environment, and your standards. Make them stronger than before. The goal is not just to get back to where you were. The goal is to become wiser, steadier, and harder to break. There is power in choosing responsibility over excuses. Excuses may protect your ego for a moment, but responsibility protects your future. Responsibility says, "This is my life, and I will work with it honestly." Responsibility does not deny that circumstances can be hard. It simply refuses to hand over control. You are allowed to have hard days. You are allowed to feel overwhelmed. You are allowed to need rest. But do not confuse rest with retreat. Do not confuse a pause with a permanent stop. A responsible person knows when to recover and when to rise. That balance is part of maturity. It is part of becoming dependable to yourself. This is the deeper message hidden inside the 3 levels. Level 1 gives you emotional fuel. Level 2 gives you consistent direction. Level 3 gives you a stable identity. Together, they create momentum that can survive setbacks. Without the first level, you may never begin. Without the second level, you may never build anything lasting. Without the third level, you may build something but fail to protect it. All 3 matter. But the third level is the one that keeps your future from collapsing when life gets complicated. Because identity does not just say what you do. It says what you will keep doing, even when nobody is cheering. So be careful with the words you speak over your own life. Every time you say, "I always mess up," you are rehearsing defeat. Every time you say, "I can never change," you are feeding a false identity. Every time you say, "This is just who I am," You are giving up your right to grow. Replace those words. Say, I am learning. Say, I am building. Say, I am becoming stronger. Say, I do not need to be perfect to improve. The story you repeat becomes the life you live. Choose a story that makes room for growth. Choose words that build momentum instead of locking you into old pain. A powerful life is not a life without fear. It is a life where fear no longer gets the final word. Maybe you are afraid of failing again. Maybe you are afraid of being judged. Maybe you are afraid that deep down you do not have what it takes. Those fears are real enough to feel, but they are not strong enough to define you unless you hand them the pen. Do not hand them a pen. Take it back. Write a better next chapter with your actions. The chapter does not have to be perfect to be powerful. It only has to be honest, brave, and in motion. And remember this: success is not only about reaching a destination. It is about becoming trustworthy on the way there. Can you trust yourself to get up again after a bad day? Can you trust yourself to keep your word when no one checks? Can you trust yourself to stay focused when distraction is easy? Can you trust yourself to keep your standards when pressure rises? These are the questions that shape destiny. The person who learns to answer yes becomes dangerous to mediocrity, not because they are better than everyone else, because they are no longer willing to betray their own potential. Maybe today all you can do is recover your posture. Sit up straighter. Breathe deeper. Speak more kindly to yourself. Stop rehearsing the worst possible outcome. Start acting like your life matters again. That may not look dramatic, but it is powerful. The right posture changes the way you walk into tomorrow. The right words change the way you think. The right action changes the way you feel about yourself over time. Healing and success are both built in layers. Do not despise the layer you are on. Respect it. Work it. Strengthen it. Then move upward. You do not need to become someone else. You need to become more of who you already are beneath the fear, beneath the doubt, beneath the delays, beneath the noise. There is a capable person there. There is a resilient person there. There is a focused person there. You may have covered that person with bad habits, bad timing, and too many defeats, but the person is still there. Bring them forward. That is what this moment is asking from you. Not perfection, not performance, presence, honesty, effort, and the courage to keep going. So when the day gets hard, remember the 3 levels. Use emotion to begin. Use discipline to continue. Use identity to endure. Let the first level light the match. Let the second level build the fire. Let the third level keep it burning when conditions change. This is how people turn pain into power. This is how they turn delay into direction. This is how they turn self-doubt into self-respect. Not by waiting for life to become easier, but by becoming stronger in the middle of it. Your breakthrough may not arrive in the way you expect. It may look like a calm decision. It may look like one better habit. It may look like returning to the work after a setback. It may look like refusing to quit on a difficult week. Do not underestimate those moments. They are the architecture of your future. You're building something real, even now. The pieces may seem small, but they matter. And one day, when you are standing inside the life you built, you will understand that every disciplined choice was a form of faith in yourself. Keep moving. Keep learning. Keep correcting. Keep believing that your life can still rise. Not because everything is easy now, but because you are no longer living by accident. You are living by intention. And intention, repeated enough, becomes transformation.